How to pass an ABRSM exam. Sight reading. Along with oral, sight reading is one of the most dreaded parts of an ABRSM exam. In my experience, it seems that this section of the exam is not prepared as much as, for example, the pieces and scales. Added to this, you have probably been playing the same three pieces over and over again for the last few months and have virtually memorized them. And in so doing, you are not really reading music every day. To get better at sight reading, you need to incorporate some music you have never seen before into your practice every day. How should you practice sight reading? Again, in my experience, most students focus primarily on getting the notes the correct pitch at the expense of keeping the beat going. If you look at the marking criteria for a sight reading test, the first thing that is mentioned for a distinction is fluent, rhythmically accurate, followed by accurate notes, pitch and key. Let me demonstrate. Here are two incorrect versions of a well-known tune, the first with mistakes in rhythm and the second with mistakes in pitch. Which sounds more recognizable? And the second version? Okay, a slight comic moment, but I hope you will agree with me that the second version was more recognizable. Contrary to the way most people practice sight reading, I would suggest that rhythm is more important than pitch. Then there is musical detail, such as dynamics and articulation. These also will get you more marks in an exam. And finally, in the marking criteria for a distinction, there is mentioned confident presentation. A sight reading test is an assessment of how well you can convey the music as a whole performance, not if you can recognize the pitches A, B, C, F sharp, etc. That is a theory exam. In the exam, you are given up to half a minute to prepare. Now, at this point, most people will tentatively try and start to work out the pitches of a few notes, the first few bars maybe. This is a waste of your 30 seconds. Try and get the rhythm in your head. Look out for dynamics and articulation marks. Try and get a sense of the music as a whole. I would practice sight reading with a metronome, maybe set to a slowish tempo if necessary, and keep going whatever. If you miss a note, don't go back and correct it. You'll only upset the flow and rhythm of the music, and this effectively counts as a second mistake. You've made a mistake in your pitch, and then by correcting the notes, you've made a second mistake in your rhythm. You can't erase the first mistake, and the examiner is not interested if you can improve on your wrong note. He wants to hear a performance of the music as a whole, which conveys, as best you can, the character of the piece. With this in mind, you might find helpful a playlist called Sight Reading Trainer, which I have prepared on this channel, in which you get a few seconds to look at the piece, and then you need to play along with the audio, which forces you to keep in time. There will be a link at the end of this video to the playlist. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to stay up to date when I upload new videos helping you to pass an ABRSM exam. Thanks for listening.